These are the 17 Thailand travel mistakes that can ruin your trip. You travel all this way with your hard-earned cash to have the best travel experience possible, so let's make sure it's a good one. So I first traveled to Thailand about 10 years ago, and altogether now I've spent 2 years of my life in Thailand. I've traveled all around Thailand from the north to central and a lot of time in the south as well. It has been a lot of fun, some of the best travel experiences I've had anywhere in the world. But of course, I've made mistakes along the way, and there's definitely things I wish I knew before I come to Thailand. So I've made this video so then you can have the best experience possible without having to go through the hurdles I have. We'll cover everything you need from the moment you land to the departure gate. So let's get started. From the moment you arrive, you're quickly going to realize cash is pretty much king in Thailand. But there's a few things that you need to know about cash, especially once you land at the airport. Most airport exchange rates aren't going to be that great. So the best place to exchange money in Thailand is Super Rich. They have quite a few locations all around Thailand. They offer the best rates and great service. The next hurdle with getting cash is ATMs. ATM fees here charge 200 to 220 baht, which is a fair chunk, and that can be on top of any international charges for cash withdrawals that your bank back home charges on you too. So I've got an account that if I use that account, that's an extra $5 for me in Australian. So just be mindful of the fees that you're going to get charged from your bank as well. The 220 baht, that can add easily another $6-7 on top of that US. So it does add up. If you are going to use an ATM, make sure you get a lot of cash, enough to last you a while, and obviously keep it safe. A quick little hack as well, if you've got your passport and your card, you can walk into a bank and they'll withdraw cash from your card without having to pay the ATM fee. It is best to use a travel account to convert. They do offer great fees as well if you're not bringing cash and you plan to withdraw money. I have Wise, so I just use Wise. For me, they have helped me out a lot traveling from country to country. It's quick, it's easy. You just set up an account, transfer from my bank account into there. Takes just a few seconds. So make sure you've got a travel account to help lower those fees and make transacting a lot easier. Another thing is that taxi mafias have become a bit of a problem in Thailand. If you're going to Phuket, Krabi, Koh Samui, even airports in Bangkok do charge a lot just to get from the airport to your location. The taxi mafia have driven up prices, making it 2 to 3 times, sometimes even 4 times the normal rates of traveling around Thailand. You've almost got a minimum 500 baht for Phuket, Krabi, Koh Samui to hop into a taxi, Grab or Bolt. It's pretty expensive. If you're going to be using them all the time, it's going to add up. So just be mindful to put that into your budget as well. You can save yourself a few hassles and headaches just pre-booking your transfer to your hotel. So on that same topic, taxis and tuk-tuks are not a cheap form of travel for foreigners. They will quite often not use meters and overcharge for foreigners. So I recommend just use Bolt or Grab and avoid taxis and tuk-tuks. I will go into a bit more detail about the tuk-tuk and taxi scams, but before we get to that, you're going to need to know about SIM cards. You can use eSIM services that are available online. You can get them even from your home country. In Thailand, it is common to use a physical SIM. I use AIS. They have some amazing deals. I get 100 gigabyte a month for just 150 baht. So you're looking at, it's like $4 American for a month to get 100 gigabytes. So it's really affordable and they offer great service. I'm actually not paid by any of the services that I've mentioned, so AIS, Bolt, Grab, or Wise. I just recommend them because I use them all the time and I believe in the services and products that they provide. So if you'd like to support the channel, just click like, leave a comment, or subscribe. So next up, let's consider the other things that can just ruin the time that you have here in Thailand. Weather conditions are really pivotal to whether you're going to have a great time or an average time here in Thailand. There's really 3 different seasons in Thailand. So you've got rainy season, which is monsoon season. It runs from June through to October. Then you've got peak season. So this is some of the best weather. It's actually cools down a bit and it's just great weather for traveling, getting out, visiting the islands and beaches. That is from November through to March. And then you've got April, May, which is just really hot and sometimes rainy. So if you want to visit some of the islands and beaches, then definitely coming from November through to January, February, March will be your best option. If you are looking to go north though, so Chiang Mai or central around Bangkok, just be mindful from January through to April, there is burning season. So burning season does create that smog in the air, which can be hazardous. Even at times, it can get to high risk category for air quality. So just be mindful if you are going central or north, January through to April is not a great time to be traveling around there. The best time to travel from January through to April is the south of Thailand. It's much healthier and it's great weather to be enjoying the beaches and islands that the south of Thailand just has so much of. So the next is making sure you've got your visas. You can extend your visa if you're running out of time and you're looking to stay longer. They do often offer an extension on most visas. Look at the official government websites. It's important to get that right. If you overstay, you can get fined and you can be banned from returning. It is something they do take quite serious here, so make sure you keep an eye on your visas and your travel plans, and extending if you need to is pretty easy. All you need is your passport and a passport photo and you can go into any immigration office. Another thing is planning for travel time. If you're going to travel to a few different locations, it is quite time consuming to get to places and travel. So don't try to squeeze too many places into your itinerary. So if you are looking to travel to different destinations, you do have the option of buses, ferries, trains, and flights. Or you can always go private, get a private car and driver, or you've got the private van services as well. We're not trying to cram in too many locations while you're staying here in Thailand. Can ruin your trip. Another thing is just staying in one place can also be a downer. If you plan to just stay in one location and it turns out you're not that happy there, it does make sense to travel around. You've got the amazing south. You've got Koh Samui in the center of Thailand. You've got Hue Hin, which is just 2 hours from Bangkok. You've got Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai up the north. You've got Isan, Khon Kaen. And on top of all of that, there's so many islands around Thailand to see that are just amazing as well. Another thing is don't just eat at the foreign restaurants. Eat some Thai food and some Thai street food. It's absolutely delicious. You can actually be surprised at how good the quality of the street food in Thailand is. It's such a big part of their culture. Street food is everywhere here, and within good reason. It's very affordable. It's extremely delicious. Sometimes you can pay 2-3 times the amount at a restaurant and it's still nowhere near as good as what you can get from the street food. So definitely worthwhile trying it. The downside to it is there is Bangkok belly as well. So that's another thing. You can get this bottle of Flying Rabbit. It is actually really good at helping get rid of any nausea and diarrhea. So if you are suffering from those, get to a pharmacy or a 7-Eleven and pick up that bottle. And that will get you back on track within 12 to 24 hours. To be honest, it doesn't happen that often, but it does happen. And it can quite often happen at a restaurant rather than street food as well. Another thing that can ruin your time here in Thailand is finding the right accommodation. So I do have a detailed video where I actually go into how to get an amazing price for accommodation. Thailand has everything from your budget hotels to your fan room only to luxury stays where you can spend up to like $1,000 a night. So it's really up to you what you're comfortable with. But just bear in mind, if you are coming through high season, everything does get booked out. This is the first year that I've seen places just be sold out since COVID. So tourism's back in full swing. There's usually an oversupply. just for high season. If you're coming from November through to March, make sure you've pre-booked your accommodation. If you're coming outside of that, make sure you've got some accommodation for the first few nights, but you can get some amazing deals by going in and asking for the best rates. So if you are coming during off-peak season, which is from April through to October, then you can get some really good rates by negotiating direct with the hotel or resort that you want to stay. The next is renting a car or a scooter. For this, I do recommend using the hotel staff or the resort staff where you're staying to get recommendations on where are the best locations to rent a scooter or motorbike or car. Scooter or motorbikes, quite often a lot of the hotels and resorts will offer that service. Cars might be a bit different though, but they will know which operators are the good ones and which ones aren't good. It is quite uncommon, but like every country, there can be some bad operators, and it's just good to know that you're going to a more trusted provider for that kind of thing. Unfortunately, this is one that I've been scammed on as well. It was only my second trip to Thailand, and the guy was just ruthless. I ended up paying more than double what I was expected to pay, and it's just a headache. It's a nightmare you don't want to have to experience, to be honest. There are some amazing locations in Thailand that will give you FOMO when you return back home and you didn't get a chance to see at least one of these places. You don't want to be someone scrolling through Instagram or Facebook and seeing people who have just visited somewhere you didn't even know existed in Thailand. So the places I recommend you should definitely have on that list are Khao Sok National Park, Phang Nga Bay, which the Semet Nengchi viewpoint is absolutely amazing. You've got Phi Phi Islands, Similan Islands as well, and then there's Koh Lipi. Any of those places alone will just lift your whole experience here and will remove that FOMO. Koh Kud and Koh Mak are other places that come to mind which you could put on that list as well. They're a lot closer to Bangkok. You should definitely get to at least one of those during your time here. If you want to be traveling around and enjoying nightlife, including accommodation, you want to budget for about $40 per person as a couple or solo traveler. Obviously, if you've got young children, then you can get away with maybe $20 to $30 a day for them. But teenage kids are going to fall into that $40 per person mark. If you're going less than that, then you might find that your options are a bit limited when it comes to traveling around and seeing some destinations and enjoying the nightlife. In saying that, you can spend as much as you like as well. Thailand has luxury and you can spend just as much or if not more than what you would spend in your own country. If you're sticking to the main cities, you won't find you're going to have a language barrier at all. Quite often Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Phuket, Krabi, a lot of these places that are just used to tourism will always have people who can speak English well, working in the hotels, resorts, tourist attractions, restaurants. So that's not an issue. But if you're traveling outside those areas, language barrier can be an issue. Me personally, whenever I'm in those situations, I just use Google Translate. It's helped me quite a bit traveling throughout Thailand, Vietnam, even parts of Indonesia. So Google Translate will help out a lot in those situations. I've also got some tips for you as well. Thailand has the second highest death road toll rate. So if you want to ride a motorbike or scooter, just wear a helmet. It's just not worth the risk. Also, if you're going to any of the temples or any of the royal grounds, you do need to dress appropriately. So you do need to wear clothes that will cover past the knee and also cover your shoulders. So it is a sign of respect to do that. So just be mindful of that and make sure that you're doing that. They can refuse entry at a lot of these places if you're not wearing the appropriate clothing. Also, taking off your shoes is very common here if you're entering someone's home or a temple. So if you're looking to get an amazing deal on accommodation in Thailand, I do have a detailed video where I break down the best apps and websites to use, how to guarantee you're getting the best deal. You can watch it now by clicking here. It should just pop up right here, so you can click and go watch it.